Hi everyone. Hi, how are you doing? We're gonna continue reading The One and Only Bob by Catherine Applegate. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited because um, we've already been in so much with Bob and we're seeing so much that's going on. And I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to go straight to the book. And again, thank you, Miss Kelly, for allowing me to have this opportunity to read to everyone. And thank you to everyone that is watching this right now. So we're going to start reading The One and Only Bob. We're going to continue where we left off last time. So now we're in a gorilla world. Finally, hopefully he finds all his friends. Let's hope so. Let's start reading. Gorilla World. I move on. I have to find my friends. Have to. But where am I? I leap over another mango signpost with bent arrows. One way to Reptileville, one way to Lionland. I pass the mangrove swamp. A manatee pokes spot trot past me. One has a bloody bandage on his chin, not taking in the right data. I try to block all the horrible smell, all the awful noise. I concentrate, let my nose do the real work. A whiff of something familiar. Gorilla? It has to be a gorilla. Full run now, I cut my back left paw on a shard of glass, trip, pulled hard on my nose and cut it too. Dripping blood, I carry on. Find him, find him, find him. A massive old oak lies on its side at the entrance of Gorilla World. Huge tangle of roots rope into the air like frozen snakes. And just beyond where Ivan lives is nothing but devastation. Help us. The stone wall separating Gorilla World and Elephant Odyssey is gone. Piece of both domains mango and elephant toy here, a gorilla nest there, part of the ender gorilla space has crumbled to the ground. I can I scan the area where Ruby and her herd like to hang out. Nothing. No gorillas either. Out of nowhere, the wind picks up, coming sideward, blinding me. The wind howls like a hurt dog. The storm isn't over, not by a long shot. I leap over a pile of cement blocks, catch my hurt foot on something sharp, yelp, keep going. Ivan, I call. Ruby! Nothing. I get to a slight rise, leap onto another overturned tree, and try to make sense of the damage. Red and blue lights cut through the rain. Police, fire engines, good. We need all the help we can get. I take in several lungfuls of hideous air. It's too wet, too full of conflicting odors, a mishmash of scents I can't decipher, especially with my busted nose. The wind gathers speed, pushing at me with incredible force. Feel like I'll tear my ears right off my sore noggin. I can barely stay uptight. Wind like that, storm wind doesn't carry scent. It obliterates it. Okay. Help us! It's tiny, desperate voice. Maybe even Ruby's voice. Kutsu. I pick my way through the debris trying to look on the sound. It ain't easy. Please help us. Climbing over the remains of the wall, the one I was sitting on, what seemed like moments ago, I found myself at the brink of the moat. Ruby! I call at the top of my lungs. Uncle Bob! The sound of my name cuts through the gloom like a shaft of sun. Ruby rushed to the opposite edge of the water. She's maybe 8 feet away, but I can barely make her out in the torrential rain. You stay there, I yell, trying to be heard over the wind. I'll come to you. I followed the bank until I come to a spot where several chunks of wood have tumbled into the water. 3 careful leaps and I'm across. Ruby runs to greet me. She wraps her mud-coated trunk around my neck and boy oh boy, am I happy to see that sweet little elephant. You hurt, Ruby? I ask. Is everyone alright? Ruby snuffles. Yes, but come quick! She dashes off before I can ask anything more. Half of Ruby's on stand by the elephant side of the moat. Each one has a trunk plunged deep in the dark, muddy water. They look like a bunch of kids trying to find a lost toy in the swimming pool. It's almost funny until I see what they're reaching for. A baby gorilla in the moat. The tiny gal keeps grabbing for a trunk to hold on to. Then slipping free, her terrified screeches fill the air. It's Kazu, Ivan's favorite. An idea. I'm going in, said Masika, one of the younger aunts. Might make things worse, Akelu cautions. Displace the mud, pull her down towards the bottom. I could go in, I suggest, the words popping out before I can swallow them. It's more mud than water, Bob. Kilo shakes her head. You'll get stuck as kudzu. I don't exactly argue the point. I've got an idea, comes the small voice. All the aunties turn to Ruby, and she looks startled to have their complete attention. A couple of us get on the other side of the moat, Ruby said. Grab trunks, we'll make a whitey, a call it. A sling, I explained. A hammock like the gorillas have. I don't know, Ruby. Akilo sounds doubtful. Kuzzle grabbed for Masika drunk with both hands. Wait, Masika said. Think I've got her this time. Masika lifts her trunk with deliberate slowness, careful trying to support the baby gorilla, but once again, Kazu can't hold on. She let out a desperate cry. Down she goes, lower this time, her nose and eyes just visible. Okay, Akilo says with a nod at Ruby. Let's give Ruby's idea a try. Masika, Laheli, Alido cross over to the far side. Zaina, Ruby, and I will take this side. All three elephants move with surprising quickness to the spot where I cross. They gallop back until they're facing us. It's strange to see them on the other side of the moat, with the wall destroyed exactly in Ivan and Kiani domain. Move down a bit, Akila instructed. That way. She motioned with her head. We want to scoop her out, not push her down. Three on one side, three on the other. The elephants reach out for each other's trunk, creating a kind of crater. Okay, now, says Akila lower carefully. Down they go into muddy water. Ruby nearly loses her footing, so I grab her tail with my teeth. It doesn't really help, and she yelps, ouch! But my heart's in the right place. Kazu trashes her tiny arm. Stay calm, I call for each. I call, I call. Easy for me to say. She looks over to me, and I'll never forget the fear in her dark eyes. Then she vanishes before the surface. Team Elephant. Hurry, Ruby cries. The elephant bent lower, moving like a giant elephant shovel. Where is she? Masika asked. Lower, said Akilo. Lower, sisters. There, Ruby yells. No, wait, there. Up. Akilo commenced, and the interlocked trunk rise from the muddy water to reveal a tiny, trembling baby gorilla sitting in their makeshift sling. Kudzu, said Akilo. Stay calm, baby. We're gonna toss you to safety, okay? Kudzu gives a little nod. On my count, says Akilo. Start swinging. One, two, three. Up and over the trunk and up and over goes Kazu. She hands with a little plop on the gorilla side of the moat, right next to Masika rear legs. Good work, everyone, says Akilo. And good thinking, Bobby. Thanks, elephants, says Kazu, wiping in mud from her eyes. That was fun. Can we do it again? Akilo takes a deep breath. Maybe later, sweetheart. Quickly, I make my way back over the moats. Kazu, I say, follow me. Let's go find your eight peeps. Can I go with Bob? Ruby asks Akilo. Akilo touches Ruby back with a trunk. I'd much rather have you stay here, dear. And it's may I. But Uncle Ivan, Ruby please. I'll keep an eye on her, I tell Akilo. I'm going, Ruby says in her most determined voice. Maybe I can help. I helped just now. Akilo hesitates but finally gives a slow nod. Probably she figured there's no argument with Ruby. She's right on that one. Ruby crosses the moon and joins Kazu and me. Be careful, Akilo warns. There's more of this storm coming. I got her, Akilo, I say. You better have her, she warns. I think I flew, Bob, says Kazu as we weave our way though the wasteland that was Gorilla World. Yeah, me too, I say. It's that kind of day. What's out there? A handful of humans, firefighter, and police. Mostly have begun to roam the grounds, checking out the damage. We pass a park employee with a weapon slung over his shoulder and a net in one hand. Trink gun, he tells a passing police officer. We don't know what's out there. She nods. How fast do they work? On something like a big cat? He shakes his head. Not fast enough. I look over at Ruby. Stay close, kid. As we near the gorilla villa, what's left of it, anyways, a screech hits my ears that makes the wailing police siren sound like gnawing kittens. It's Kiani. She frantically knuckles running back and forth near the collapsed gorilla villa. Chunks of cement, shredded wooden beams, and bent metal lie everywhere. A cluster of gorilla females and juvenile huddle not far from some rescue workers. There's Mama, Kazu cried, dashing towards a gorilla named Jody. I'm so horrified by the destruction that I've almost forgotten my muddy little charge. I really shouldn't be trusted as an ape sitter. Kasu darts over to her mother waiting embrace. Jody muzzles her and strokes her and says soothing, motherly gorilla things. Thank you, Jody mouths to me. Don't thank me, I say, looking over to Ruby. Thank the little gal. She figured out how to save Kudzu. Thank you. Isn't it Ivan friend? Ruby gives a shy nod. We all help. I provided the moral support I added. I flew mama, said Kazu. Of course you did, dear, said Jody. Keone fresh wall focus on my mind. I gotta go, I say. Ruby, you should stay here. I'm going for a nonsense for a no nonsense voice, the one Julia used on me when she calls me Robert. Let me see what's what. I'll be right back. No way, Uncle Bob, Ruby replies just as firmly. I give up, but I'm afraid of what she might see, of what we both might see. Any sign of Ivan? Asked Jody. She shakes her head, a grim look clouding her eyes. With Ruby by my side, we pushed a pile of wreckage that used to be the Gorilla Villa. At the same moment, Ruby and I gasp. There's Ivan's hand, barely breaking through the rubble. Oh my goodness. I hope he's okay. Not moving. I know that hand, like the back of my own palm. No! Ruby screams. Uncle Ivan! I check the crowd. No sign of Julia or George. Nothing. No Maya. Either or other keepers are recognized. Just a few employees, several rescue workers, and two of the 3 days looking visitors. Is he alive? A firefighter asks. Hand, whatever it's called. Is it moving? Says another. Weave my way through the tangle of legs. I climb up the rubble pile, stay for a bit, and bark louder. Yes, he's alive. Get your reels in gear, bark. Just like those overreaching rescue dogs in the man's best friend show. I listen for a sound from Ivan, a groans, a cry for help, nothing. Still, he smells alive. At least I think he does. And that's a good enough for me. Oh my goodness, I hope he's okay. Zena. Another dog races over, a tough looking German shepherd wearing an impressive glow in a dark vest and some booty fangs to protect her feet from the rubble. But I hold my ground. This is my friend we're talking about. I lick Ivan's hand. His finger twitch. But that's all it takes to get both of us barking like maniacs. More people gather. I see Maya next to Ruby, which makes me feel better. Name Zena, says the shepherd. Bob. I nudge Ivan fingers with my nose, nothing. And this is Ivan, my best bud. Sorry to hear it, she replies, and I don't like the sound of her voice. With great care and far too slowly for my taste, rescue worker begins removing chunks of the wreckage and tossing them to one side. Zara and me mostly stay out of the way, but every so often I lick Ivan's hand, just so he knows we've got him covered. I glance over at Maya and Ruby. Maya is wiping tears from her eyes while she strokes Ruby's ears. Ruby is giving Maya a confronting trunk hug. Good old Ruby, wise beyond her years, that gal. I check the crowd again, still no sign of Julia or George, and that's when a sickening thought hits me like a bitter to the world. What if Ivan isn't the only one under the rubble? Dragon. More police cars and ambulances arrive at the park, a handful of keepers streaming too, looking frantic and confused. The weirdest thing of all, running through all the destruction of random park residents, animals, birds, and reptiles. Critters who most definitely do not belong in the gorilla world. A police officer is chasing an armadillo. A great blue heron watches the mayhem from her position atop a giraffe statue. A wally bay, a wally by pokes his nose out of a bush, his saucer eyes catching the fire engine lights. Nets, someone yells. We need more nets. An older gentleman holding a blue umbrella lets out a blood-curdling scream. Dragon! He cries. I swear to you, I just saw a baby dragon. Sir, says a keeper named Malik. No worries, that's actually a Gila monster. His name is Jillian. A paramedic visited him. They have like venom, don't they? They say healthy adults don't want to die from it, Malik shrugs, although they'll be in some serious pain. Wonderful, the paramedic mutters. I glance over my shoulder to see Sarah coming towards Maya. I can't hear her words, but I can definitely see the worry in her eyes. Zena's ears tip forward. They're getting the cutters and the jaws of life. Jaws, I repeat. Don't like the sound of that. Spread medals. They're probably getting close. Come on, we need to get out of the way. I ain't going nowhere. I hear ya, she says, and I can tell from the weary sound of her voice that she had this conversation before. But the best thing for Ivan right now is to let the human do their things. I think about it. She figures she's right. I give his fingers one last lick. They don't move. Nothing. Nada. We pick our way to the bottoms of the debris pile. Hang in there, Ivan, I call. We love your body. I know it's crazy, but I listen anyways, hoping for a sign, any sign, that he's still with us. Hugging. I run to Kiani. Don't worry, I tell her. He's gonna make it. I can tell she doesn't believe me. From there, I head over to Maya and Sarah and Ruby. Maya had a radio headset in one hand, and for some reason, a young screaming meerkat in the other. Sarah kneels down and hugs me tighter than my sweater she's ever knit. Bob, she cries, what happened to your nose? And look at your paw. Some dogs, some dogs don't like to be hugged that way. I'm one of them. But Sarah needs to do it. I can tell somehow. So I let her. Isn't so bad, really. Loose. And no police officer joined us. Officer William. She knows a million. You're with the park, right? Yes, I'm Maya. This, Officer William paused. We need to get this under control ASAP. Winds are gonna pick up and we haven't even hit the eye. Storm surge could be an issue. This one moving slow. We've got a skeleton staff here, says Maya as the meerkat attempts to eat her earring. Other reports say maybe a third of the habitat are damaged or destroyed. She shakes her head. We got some injuries, some possible fatalities too. Human? Don't think so. Oh no. Anything loose that could be, problem? Maya presses her lips together. Yup. Such as a couple of Florida panthers, gray wolves, python maybe, possibly an alligator or two. American alligators, not Chinese. I don't care if they're from Canada, if they eat people, we are in trouble. They don't, typically. Typically, Officer William repeats. Well, that's reassuring. Sarah loosened her grip on me ever so slightly. Maya, she asked, voice trembling. Have you heard of anything on the radio from George and Juliet? I keep calling, but the cell towers are down. Nothing yet, Maya says, but I'm sure they're fine. Nearest shelter over at Lincoln Elementary, says Officer William. You could check there. Sarah frowns. They were probably here right before the tornado hit. We're searching the park, ma'am, says the officer. We'll find them if they're here. Everybody clear out, a firefighter with a megaphone yells from a spot near Ivan. Could be danger of more collapse. We're working on this last metal beam. I look to see if Ivan's fingers are moving. Nothing. Hold on, Ivan, I yell. Nothing. Sometimes nothing is the worst sounds in the world. We realize how a little elephant crying, and then I realize maybe that's the worst sound in the world. CPR. The wind dies down to a whisper as if the world is holding its breath along with the rest of us. Do you have any vets standing by? Asked Officer Williams as two more ambulances screeched to a halt nearby. Yes, Maya nods. Not sure when they'll get here though. Officer William whips down an ambulance crew member. You ever give CPR to a gorilla? Primate? A primate, I guess, he says. But he doesn't look too sure. What's going on? We're waiting on equipment, but we stretched pretty thin. A lot of structural damage on the north side of town, says Officer William. They're going to get a chance on that last spin. Try pulling it through with one of the cars. Somebody under there? Gorilla, we think. Not sure what else or who else. I look at all the cement, all the wood and metal. Nobody could survive that. Not even a silverback gorilla with the strips of eight men. And yet Ivan, fingers moved. And then they didn't. Several minutes pass, the wind slows a bit, along with the wind. The crowd watches it as three firefighters attach a long chain to the metal beam next to Ivan, then hook it to a tow bar on the rear of a police car. Back up, folks, calls the megaphone guy. Farther, the chain clinks, the car growls, the wheels squeal, grinding, groaning, progress just a bit. The big chunk of metal has definitely moved a whisker or two. More grinding, wheel digs holes in the ground. One flies like thick brown terrain. A lurch, a snap, clanks and rumbles the big beam jerks free. The rescue worker moves in, digging with their bare hands, cement and dust and metal and bits and pieces of rubber wall or earthwork. But where's Ivan? No, no movement, nothing. But after a few more minutes, one thing is clear. A gorilla-shaped mound has appeared, covered by dust and dirt and debris and splattered with rain. It just lies there. I've lost a lot in my life, my whole family, Stella. But Ivan, no. It can't happen. Not Ivan. Miracle. The mound sits up. Gorilla ghost. Ivan emerges from a cloud of dust like a jumbo-sized ghost. He blinks several times, coughs, shakes, stretches a little. He's holding a banana, which he proceeds to eat. Everyone, and I do mean everyone, cheers. Yay! That's great. That's great. I can't believe he's holding a banana though. Oh my goodness, I can't. Wolf on the run. I scramble over to Ivan and he gives me a look that says, "You're the best, Bob." "I thought you were a goner," I say, licking some banana goof off his chin. "Me too," Ivan similar this. His lashes are white with dust. "What happened anyway?" "Tornado. We'll be okay, Kiani, Julia, George." "Haven't seen Julia or George yet. Kiani's over there, carrying on." A paramedic holding a box of medical equipment approaches us nervously. "I've got this," calls the woman I recognize as one of the park veterinarians. The paramedic looks happy to step aside. The vet gently but firmly pushes me out of the way. "I'll be back," I say, Ivan. I run to Kiani. "He's good, totally good." The look of joy in her eyes makes me want to give her an affectionate nose nudge. Almost. From there, I joined Ruby and Maya. "I was so scared, Bob," Ruby whispered. "Me too," I admit. "Me too. But he's fine. I promise." We watch a pair of otters dart past, chased by a guy with a net. One of the firefighters who's been clearing debris yells, "We're clear here. No sign of other victims." Sarah closes her eyes and I can smell her relief tears. While Maya listens to her walkie-talkie uh, trying to take stock of the damage of the park, Officer William police radio hisses and crosses with no problems, no flooding, no dire predictions. "Copy that," she says into her radio. Even with the chaos and noise, I'm close enough to the radio to catch the tiny sound of friends barking. "We've got a unit reporting to the animal shelter down the street flooding," Officer Williams says. "Also, we got trailer park damage on 12th Street and Oak down on Nelson Avenue, blocking traffic in a big rig overturned near the fairground, and that's just for starter." Out of the corner of my eyes, I notice something airborne. It's graceful and bold like a huge wingless bird. The crowd gasps. "It's Kimmel!" He hands on the hood of Officer Williams' squad car. His eyes are glazed, his coat wet and shimmering. "We've got it. We got a 1091 here," Officer Williams whispered into a receiver. "Confirm. Seems there's a wolf on top of my vehicle." Slowly she reaches for the pistol on her hips. "Please advise." Oh no. Shots fired. Oh no. Several officers raise their guns. The tranquilizer dart guy, dart guy takes him too. "No!" Maya yells. "No guns!" Kimmel blinks, eye darting right and left, then leaps off the car with such a grace and speed it's like he owns the wind. Two shots ring out. Silence followed. "Was he hit?" someone asked. Maya closed her eyes. "I sure hope not." "I sure hope so," someone else says. Jungle. As I watched her leave, watched Kimmel fly, I didn't know what to think. Part of me was like, "Go for it, dude." And the other part of me was thinking, "It's a jungle out there." A situation. Officer William climbs into a picnic table. Someone hands her a megaphone so she can be heard over the din. "Folks," she yells, "listen up. We got a handful of animal control worker coming over, but several words already flooded out, and the weather guys are saying Gus is gonna take his sweet time. Meantime, Park Supervisor calling more help, but only if your worker can get here safely." The unmistakable roar of big cat rolls over us like slow thunder. "Any more train guns?" Officer William asks the park director who just arrived. "Three in reserve," she answers. "Nets? We have a dozen." "Okay then," Officer William Riddle crackles. "I can hear more shouting, more barking dogs. Shelter flooding," she says. "Yeah, that's happened there before," the director says. "Usually just a foot or two of the water." "Okay, public safety is where we start," Officer William wipes rain from her forehead. We need to get the word that out that these animals are on the loose. Of course, says the director. We have protocol in place, but we need to be careful how we word this. People might overreact. Might. Ma'am, a firefighter reached up. I see a pattern in my backyard. I'm sure as heck gonna overreact. First thing first, says Officer William. Triage in the main office. Check records for any survivors, human or animal. Find out with Trent guns, get an inventory on how many animals are loose. I wonder how it's possible that Officer William can seem so composed. The air reeks with fear from animal, birds, people, from me. And yet she doesn't seem worried about herself, just other people. Weird. The way humans stick their necks out for others. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? Again, the crackle, the hiss, the barking. My ear perks for a minute. Was that Philemon's voice? Or maybe someone I know is in the slammer. I'm going to the shelter at the elementary school, Sarah says. Her hands are trembling, but her voice is firm. To look for George and Julia, just in case. She strokes my head and I'm happy to let her. I wonder if I should tag along with her, see if I can help her. Now that I know Ivan and Ruby are safe. Hiss, crackle, meow, bark, I hear it again. I mean, my ear goes on light. My body goes rigid. No, it's impossible. Never. Some bugs, you never forget. One place. I know what I have to do. Despite the turmoil all around me, the noises, the smell, the fear, the confused humans, the frantic animals, despite my worry about Julie and George, I know there's one place I need to be. A split second. I want to tell Ivan and Ruby, but Ivan is still being poked at by rhymes with pet threat. Although, come to think of it, she doesn't seem like much of a threat. In the movie, she'd be one of the good guys. To my annoyance, Sarah picks me up. I hate being picked up, unless it's my dear. Then it's totally cool. Maya, she says, you let me know first sign of George and Julia, okay? Promise, says Maya, and she places her hand on Sarah's shoulder. Humor's always touching. Although I kind of get it under the circumstances. You can't take Bob to the school shelter. They're not allowing any more pets, Maya points out. The animal shelter is flooding. It sounds like, why don't you leave him here? I'll put him in my office. He'll be safe. No way is that on the agenda. Sarah nods. Good idea. She starts to hand me over but hesitates when she realizes Maya still has the meerkat wrapped around her neck. It's just a split second, but a split second is all it takes to escape from Nioba, untamed and undaunted. On my way. Bob! Sarah cries. Grab that dog, Maya yells. I spent a good part of my life running from certain guy named Mac, and I still have my move. I twist and spin and dip, and before you can say yes, sir, Bob, they're giving up. I backtrack, slip under a bench, and make my way to Ruby. Ruby, I whisper. I gotta go. Something important come up. You and Ivan see if you can find George and Julia. I want to come, Ruby says, stomping her front foot in a huge puddle. You need to keep an eye on Ivan, I say. Make sure Kiani doesn't drive him loco with her sobbing. I'll be back before you know it. I don't wait for an answer. I'm off into the wild and into the world filled with wind and rain, with wolves and alligators, with a voice that could rip my heart in two. Three. Okay, we're gonna stop here. Oh my goodness. We are almost done with the book, guys. Oh, this is so amazing. I'm so glad Ivan is fine. My heart was racing when we were reading. I'm like, I hope Ivan is fine. I hope Ivan is fine. And this book is so amazing. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Miss Kelly, thank you again for allowing me to read this book. It's so amazing. We'll be visiting part 3 very soon. Bye, guys. I'll see you later.